1.
All right, guys, let's talk about 1.4.1. This unit or this lesson is on representing constraints. Basically, it's talking about finding answers, but understanding what those answers mean in context of a problem, especially when you're dealing with something like inequality. So, example 1 here: determine whether the coordinates -2, 9 is a solution to the inequality y is less than or equal to 5x plus 6. This one's straightforward, simple example. It won't take us but a minute. We're going to plug in x and y. Okay, that's it. So 9 is less than or equal to 5 times -2 plus 6. Okay? So 9 is less than or equal to -10 plus 6. 9 is less than or equal to -4. Okay? Is that a solution to that inequality? No, it is not. Right? It would have to be the other way around. It would be 9 is greater than or equal to -4. If that was the case, then yes, that would be a solution. Okay? So, being able to solve these inequalities, being able to figure out what's constraints and what's not. So let's look at what you're going to be dealing with more, which is word problems. Okay? So, rolling on into example 2 here. A taxi company charges $2.50 plus $1.10 for each mile driven. Write an equation to represent this situation. Use the equation to determine how far you can travel if you have $10. What is the minimum amount of money you will spend? All right, so here we go. You get in the cab and go somewhere. It's going to charge you $2.50. So you have a fee of $2.50. Okay, cost per mile is $1.10. Okay, and x is the number of miles, and y is total cost, the trip. All right, so how are we going to set that up? Well, the cost per mile is going to be multiplied by the number of miles, so that's 1.10 times x. The fee is going to be added to that, and the total is going to be y. So y equals $1.10 times x plus $2.50. Okay? Now, that's your equation. And now we want to plug in the fact that we know you only have how much money? You only have $10. So this whole thing needs to be set equal to 10. And now the next question is this. Does the equal sign really represent the best way of showing this? The equal sign is saying that you're going to spend $10. And the question really only says you only have $10 to spend. It doesn't mean you have to spend all 10. So really, 10 is going to be greater than or equal to all this stuff. Okay, and some of you probably don't like it written that way. Some of you probably want to flip it around. So I'm going to do that. 1.10 x plus 250 has to be less than or equal to your $10. Those two things say the same thing. Okay, those are identical. Now, from there, we could go through and we could solve it. Subtract 250. And you're going to get, I'm going to come back, I'm going to scroll down so I have a little bit more room to work. So you're going to get 1.10x is less than or equal to 750. Okay? From there, you're going to want to divide in order to solve for x. All right? And when you do that, divide by 1.1 or 1.10, either way. You get x is less than or equal to 6.82, right? So, if they're paying by the mile, they're going to charge you for a full mile even if you don't travel a full mile, because that's the way they do it. They don't give you half rates probably, or at least as far as we know in this problem they don't. So, the maximum number of miles is what we need to look at. You can't go a full 7, so we can't round this up. So the furthest you can go, the max you can go, x is going to have to actually be less than or equal to 6 miles. In this scenario, even though that's an 8, and that normally round up to a 7, we don't have enough money to get to the full 7. Okay, so we can't do that. All right, so in this case, for this context, we have to round it down. So now, if we only go 6 miles, what amount of money would we spend, right? How can we figure that out? So 1.10 times 6 plus 250, right? So that would be $6.60 plus 250. I don't know what just happened there. Try that again. Okay. And then we're going to add those together and we're going to get $9.10. So the most you could actually spend in this scenario is $9.10. Now let's talk about how the least amount you can spend. If you get into the cab and get right back out, he's not going to charge you the $2.50 because you didn't go anywhere. So what's the least distance that they're going to charge you for? Well, that's 1 mile, right? So if you only traveled 1 mile, then he's going to charge you 1.1 plus, or 0, plus the 250. He's going to charge you $3.60. Okay, so Y, your total cost, is going to be greater than or equal to 360, right? Or 360 is less than or equal to Y, which is less than or equal to $9.10. Okay? So there you go. And it said, I know your notes say no more than 10, but in reality, since you can only go a maximum of 6 miles, you're not ever going to hit the actual 10. So we could actually simplify that to that as well. Okay? Your word problems and your stuff on your quiz and test probably won't get into this much detail. I just want you to understand how to represent that, especially if you're looking at it as a multiple choice. You might say, well, why do they have $9.10 instead of 10? And that's the reason why, because we had to round this down to a 6. Okay? So there's your answer for example 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 coming next.